old bricks, so that's useful. Let me come back and actually, looks like I hurt myself accidentally here, but let me bring up another large one just for comparison's sake. This will be good. The Apatosaurus. So this is another large dino, but look at its size by comparison. See, this is reasonable. This one also moves much more quickly. This is great that you actually get to have two of them out at the same time, but moves much more quickly, does have that stomp ability, so it's actually, I think, a better one to use for that stomp ability just because it's smaller, but there's nothing like playing as the Brachiosaurus. Let me get something else large here, see what else we can bring up. Something else good. Baryonyx, let's go to the Spinosaurus. This is another one that's also surprisingly large, even though it's a carnivore. Of course, you can play as all of these. This one kind of plays like a T-Rex. This one has the roar that's able to break down amber elements, like that amber element you see in the background back there. And I like the way that this one attacks. You know, it's very aggressive. It moves a lot. You know, it's just very, very lively. It's a little bit creepy looking with that kind of gator-like or crocodile-like snout that it has, but that's a pretty cool one. And then comparing that one, come on, button, where are you at? Bring up the next one. Let's compare that to, should I just go straight for the T-Rex? Yeah, let me go straight for the T-Rex. That was a great kind of contrast across the different lines. So T-Rex versus Spinosaurus, you see a very similar size, just a very different shape, and the T-Rex is the original one to have that roar effect. Great looking thing, has a really good sounding roar, especially when you don't swap that out for the Allen sound effect, and this one does a lot of headbutts for its attack, so you can just have a little funny looking little thing. You've seen it use the headbutt attack quite a bit, just going through the campaign. Next up, let me bring up the most recent, the Indominus Rex, and this one being based on mostly the T-Rex, is very similar in size and stature, and you saw from the gameplay that, you know, they fight fairly evenly, and this one also has that same roar. I think this was the first one that I personally played around that had the roar actually used in game. You actually use it when it's going against you, and you have to bait it to use that roar. But this is great, being able to get into the I-Rex versus T-Rex battle again, and that'll just respawn. You can have two of these things spawned up at one time. Here's the last one from the large dinosaurs, Baryonyx, and you see this one is rather large indeed. Kind of looks like a Spinosaurus minus the sails, you know, minus the spines, but it's much bigger. This one has a very similar attack too, the way that it moves around. It's got that long jaw, long snout, but this one clearly looks like it would be able to really put the whooping on the Indominus Rex, and also a T-Rex, of course, being the same size as the I-Rex. One last thing before I move on to the medium dinosaurs, I do want to show you a sample of a skeleton. You get the skeletons by collecting all the pieces of the mini kits that you can find throughout the free play areas, and also partially during the campaign. So this is just an interesting one to see. You know, they're all going to be the same size as the original fully fleshed animals. Gosh, this is tough just to see the thing, but you know, just a pretty impressive build. Lots of Technic parts used there, and you'll see some interesting builds combining lots of different types of pieces together. I just wanted to give you an example of what a skeleton would look like. Still plays exactly the same as the fully fleshed one. It just looks quite different. All right, medium ones. So first of all, Triceratops, the very first thing, the very first dinosaur that was brought up in the campaign. And this one has that very useful charge effect, where it can have that, you know, that very special attack that allows it to get through certain areas that only it and one other animal can actually go through. This is a good looking one. Gives me very fond memories, having been my first animal to be able to play as in this series. And I did not mean to bring up the skeleton. That's what a skeleton of a Stegosaurus looks like, but I wanted to just stick to the fully fleshed out ones. You gotta kind of move fast or wait, one of the two. This one had specific attack uses in the campaign, but it's not particularly useful in free play or anything. It's another novelty collectible as a kind of funny walk. Not the greatest speed, not the greatest attack or anything. So this is one that you get for the sake of getting it, and it's cool to have, to be sure, and looks interesting, but doesn't do anything too special. Next up, here is the Parasaurolophus. Parasaurolophus, something like that. It's got a really weird name, man. This one has pretty decent speed to it. I think it has a pretty respectable gait. I kind of like how it looks as well. It's another one that doesn't have any special attack, that's mostly collectible for the sake of collecting, but it looks really funny as it kind of walks about. A lot of these bipedal ones look kind of funny, which I like. It's weird, but I appreciate it. It adds a little bit of extra fun. The Corythosaurus, something like that, is a very similar looking animal. This gets a little bit annoying sometimes if you get your previous animal is close to the pad. When you hit Y, there's no way to shift. It's just a little glitch. There's no way to switch to the latest one that you just brought up. This one has really interesting markings on it. Look at that. Especially in the face as well. It has kind of a small head and face. Here we go with the funny walk again. But this, to me, kind of looks like the clownfish of the dinosaur world or something. Pretty interesting looking thing. Just another kind of vanity little collectible thing to add in there. And lastly, who can forget the Ankylosaurus? Ah, dang it, with that switching again. All right, there we go. Now this one's actually interesting in the way that it attacks. Look at that. It actually does a roll-up attack as one of its moves. You have a headbutt, and then a charge, and then a roll-up attack, and each of those does the same amount of damage. But it's pretty cool looking, and it actually does that. In the game, you mostly see it using its, and I think the first time that you use its attack in the campaign, you use the little tail, attack, the tail switch, the tail swing, with the big weight at the end. But I really like the roll. It just looks really cool. Now for the small ones, of course, velociraptors we've seen plenty of, and those do have their own special little, dang it, again with the switching. Yes, as I was saying, those do have their own special little thing that they can do. A couple special things they can do. They can pounce. They can also pull on switches, and you get the 4 different versions from Jurassic World, and also a generic one from the regular Jurassic Park series, especially starting right from Jurassic Park 1. So those are pretty intelligent and pretty useful, actually very useful. And because these are all small dinosaurs here, all of these things can actually be used at any time. You can just switch to them like a character as long as you're in free play or one of the hub areas. The Dilophosaurus has the unique ability to spit out, well, the fake Dilophosaurus here that they came up with, has the unique ability to shoot venom. And that is absolutely critical. You need to have that ability for some of the things, some of the specific rocks that can be dissolved by them and by them only, or other custom dinosaurs that use their attack. But I'll show you that in a separate video talking about the custom dinosaurs. Galley, I've already got a bunch of galleys here, and it looks like I have gotten them mad. I think that it is time. I think things have gotten a little crowded here. It's time to move to a different area. Okay, fresh start. Here we go. Where were we? With the galleys, we already saw a bunch of those out there in the field. Let me actually just show you the skeletal version of it here. Again, you can play at it or play as it. Nothing too special with this one. It's pretty fast. That's good. Pretty agile. Pretty good looking attacks. Has a very proud strut But again, this is one that's mostly just for the sake of vanity and collecting for the sake of collecting. And that is not what I wanted. I just want this. Come on, there we go. All right, next up, Pachycephalosaurus, or however that's pronounced. This is another one that's really useful. This one is... I hate that glitch. I just want to switch to this one. This one is super useful because it is able to do the charge like a Triceratops, but it counts as a small dinosaur or a small animal. Therefore, you are able to bring it up at any time when you're in free play. So this one is super useful, having that unique ability to break open those breakable rock, terrain type of items for getting more collectibles. The baby Triceratops is another small animal, and this one also has the same charge as the full adult version, so that makes it useful. You choose between those two. It's also very fast, so it's great for getting around quickly if you don't have access to a vehicle, and it's just adorable. Look at that thing. How can you not just look at it and just say, "Aw, they did such a ridiculously good job making that thing cute." Now, speaking of cute, the T-Rex baby is tiny, and it's cute in that sense. Doesn't have the cutest proportions. It's proportioned more like the adult version, you know, has an oversized head, but not too much. But unfortunately, this one does not pick up the all-important roar that you need as a specialty thing. So that one's just for cute's sake. And then there's one more baby, and I keep doing that. Dang it, at least I didn't have a character that screams. It's much more annoying when you hold B and you get a scream and you don't want it. Stegosaurus. There is a baby Stegosaurus. Oh wow, another super cute one. And I do not need you right now, but though it is cute, it is still rather large. Oh, look at that. But like its adult version, this one doesn't really do much. But gosh, it is a funny looking thing with that really rounded head. For my next act, I need to go over to the Mosasaurus area. So I've picked up the baby Triceratops to be able to get there more quickly. And you recognize the little pond area here. This is the whole arena where all the spectators can go and check it out. And while I was selecting the baby Triceratops, I actually realized that there was one other dinosaur that I missed. The Velociraptor baby. And this one is definitely the king of cute. Or is it the queen of cute? I'm not sure, but look at this. It fits onto one single stud. Gosh, they need to make this. They need to make this so badly, so soon. I need a ton of these in different colors. That's its attack, is doing like a little headbutt thing. They have the physical Lego T-Rex version of this thing, but I need this one. I need the Velociraptor with the eye. Now, let's go check out the Mosasaurus. Looks like I need to be a person to walk in there. And this is just an elevator that will take you downstairs to the main underwater viewing deck. And this is a really nice little observation port here. You can see down and you can see around. Let me go ahead and use this dinosaur delivery pad terminal. That's what it looks like. It only does one thing. It only brings up the Mosasaurus. And you get the Mosasaurus, the skeleton, and the custom version. I'm just going to use the regular one. Doesn't look all that big here, does it? However, when you switch to it, now look back at the little observation deck and look at me in there. Yeah, that shows you the actual scale of the thing. So this is the Mosasaurus, the standard Mosasaurus. Kind of looks like a T-Rex of the sea and kind of plays like a T-Rex of the sea, except it kind of flies, right? It's able to go straight up and straight down.